Have you ever had a flying dream? You know, that incredible feeling of soaring, defying gravity, leaving everything sort of below.
Oh, yeah. The world just unfolds beneath you, limitations disappear, and for those few moments, you are just completely free.
What if you could capture that feeling? What if you could actually maybe learn to fly on command? Not by finding some, ancient magical widget or inheriting powers you didn't know you had, but through something surprisingly relatable, something you could discover within yourself.
Get ready to embark on lucid journeys. Explore the Phillip Aisling multiverse.
All right, so welcome everyone to this deep dive. And today we're going to be talking about something pretty wild.
Yeah.
We're going to be jumping head first. Have you ever had a flying dream? You know, that incredible feeling of soaring, defying gravity, leaving everything sort of below.
Oh, yeah. The world just unfolds beneath you, limitations disappear, and for those few moments, you are just completely free.
It's such a universal feeling, isn't it? That deep-seated human thing, that yearning for transcendence, for a different perspective, freedom from the ordinary.
Yeah, totally. It's why flight is like such a potent symbol in stories and myths,
Exactly. And then you wake up and it's just gone. Poof. But what if you could capture that feeling? What if you could actually maybe learn to fly on command? Not by finding some, ancient magical widget or inheriting powers you didn't know you had, but through something surprisingly relatable, something you could discover within yourself.
Well, that's the fascinating premise we're exploring today, actually. We're diving into the world of a fantasy hero named Phillip Aisling.
Right.
He discovers this incredible ability, finding a way to fly using something as, simple and ordinary as his own jacket.
His jacket. Forget the cloaks, the magic carpets, maybe even the broomsticks for a second. Our mission today is a deep dive into Phillip's really unique path to flight. How this astonishing ability first bursts into his life, how he kind of grapples with it and learns to master it, and what these aerial adventures reveal about him, about his personal journey.
And as we navigate the skies with Phillip, we'll find some really compelling echoes, maybe some parallels, to another famous character who mastered the art of flight in his own way.
You mean Harry Potter?
Exactly, Harry Potter. So let's unpack this. Phillip's first flight. It isn't some joyous discovery in a, safe space. It's pure, desperate instinct, born from intense fear, crisis.
Yeah, the scene is incredibly vivid. It happens in a snow fort, this place that feels small, kind of menacing. He's trapped, cornered by bullies, specifically these two, Carl and Jeff.
Right, and they've taken his nagwagan.
Which, for anyone listening who doesn't know the story yet, is this small carved wooden token.
Yeah.
It holds really deep personal significance for Phillip. It's not just any object, it's precious.
And they're playing keep away, tossing it back and forth. And Phillip feels this just wave of fuming helplessness, and rage.
And the situation goes from just bad bullying to genuinely terrifying fast. As he looks at Carl, he sees this unnatural, chilling orange glow in his eyes.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. And suddenly, the bullies' appearances start to shift. Subtly at first, but becoming more menacing. Their laughs sound distorted, their teeth seem sharper maybe. It morphs into something really frightening, almost predatory.
So he feels hunted, chased around this enclosed space.
Exactly. And it's precisely at that moment, with them closing in, just as he thinks they're going to grab him, that something just takes over. It's not a conscious decision at all.
Instinctive.
Purely instinctive, yeah.
Yeah.
Animalistic reaction. He just tears off his jacket in one swift, desperate movement.
And he holds it out in front of him as he runs, leaps, and it just works.
It catches the wind and lifts him. He's suddenly airborne, soaring just out of reach above this icy bridge as Carl and Jeff are lunging for his feet. He's gliding, but initially he can't seem to get higher.
Still caught in the fear.
Yeah, he's still seeing Carl's eyes glowing below, still waving that nagwagan like a trophy.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, I think, from a psychological angle within the story. He's physically escaping, right? But he's still held back by the fear.
Right.
Then a crucial shift happens inside him. Amidst the panic and the gliding, it just hits him with absolute clarity. Carl is the true source of this terror. He's the one manipulating everything.
It's not just about the stolen nagwagan anymore.
No, it's about the fear Carl is intentionally inflicting.
A moment of lucid clarity, the story calls it. It descends, almost like the external world just fades away. The yelling, the boys, it all becomes distant background noise.
And he makes a choice deep down. He summons this incredible surge of willpower to simply overcome the fear itself, to push past it.
And the result is immediate, dramatic. As soon as that internal block of fear dissolves,
He soars.
He soars upward, effortlessly, flies right to the very ceiling of the cavern, far above them. They're still throwing snowballs, trying to get him, but they can't reach him.
That must feel amazing.
Oh, he feels this sense of pure, liberated joy. He's laughing, flying out the window, opening his mouth just to catch the falling snowflakes. It's beautiful.
And the jacket, this ordinary piece of clothing, it isn't magical itself, right?
Yeah.
But in this moment, it becomes his tool, his glider.
Exactly. It responds to him, allows him to ride high above the snow fort, the cavern, the forest outside.
It's such a profound transformation, born from terror. He starts trapped and terrified, ends up feeling at ease, relaxed, smiling, having literally risen above the threat.
It wasn't about the jacket having the power.
No, it was about his instinct, his willpower, his innate ability channeled through that simple object.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful idea, turning something ordinary into a vehicle for the extraordinary, driven by your own internal state.
So, okay, that first flight is raw, instinctual, a reaction forged in crisis. But how does he go from that one-off escape to actually controlling this, to flying whenever he needs or wants to?
Well, that's where the story introduces Gaius. He becomes Philip's guide.
Okay.
And Gaius isn't just a teacher. He's a figure who helps Philip understand that this flying, at least initially, it's happening in the dreamscape. And the key to controlling it lies in understanding and mastering his own dreams.
So it ties directly into lucid dreaming.
Precisely. Gaius breaks it down into these core concepts. The first is just recognizing that you are in a dream becoming lucid. It sounds simple, but, in the immersive world of dreams, it requires specific techniques.
Right. How does he teach Philip to do that? How do you even know you're dreaming when it feels so real?
Well, Gaius explains several methods the story presents. Sometimes impossible events happening within the dream can be clues, things that just, they wouldn't happen in the waking world.
Like suddenly having 7 fingers instead of 5 or something.
Exactly. Or objects changing shape. Text on a page shimmering and shifting if you look away and look back. But relying only on impossible events can be unreliable.
Right.
So practicing reality checks becomes crucial. The idea is the more you train yourself to question reality while you're awake, the more likely that habit is to carry over into your dreams.
And Philip has his coin for that, doesn't he? He uses that as a personal anchor.
He does, yeah. And Gaius confirms that using a personal object like that is an excellent technique because it's tied specifically to him. But Gaius also teaches a more universal kind of classic method, the double check.
Oh, the hands method. I think I've heard about this.
Yes. Looking at your hands, intently focusing on them, maybe trying to count your fingers. The key is then looking away and immediately looking back.
And in a dream.
In a dream, your hands are often unstable. You might have extra fingers or missing fingers, or the number might change when you look away and look back. That inconsistency is a really strong signal you're dreaming.
That makes perfect sense. Dreams are inherently fluid, unstable things. So recognizing that instability is the trick.
It is. And understanding that instability also helps distinguish between, uncontrolled movement and conscious action within the dream. Gaius calls the first one dream drifting.
Dream drifting, like when you suddenly find yourself somewhere totally different.
Exactly. Finding yourself in a completely different place in your dream without intentionally moving there. Dream shifting, on the other hand, is the conscious, intentional movement between locations.
Oh, right.
And that's where the flying comes back in as a fundamental technique.
Gaius' favorite way to dream shift, right?
Right. And what's truly insightful here is Gaius' explanation of the logic behind using flying for dream shifting. He tells Philip that when you take to the sky in a dream, you rise above the current scene.
You leave its limitations behind.
You leave its limitations, its setting, its chaos behind you. From that high vantage point, suspended in the open sky with nothing fixed around you, you are free to vividly imagine a new destination. And as you hold that new location in your mind's eye, the dreamscape below actually begins to reshape itself, forming the new scene you've envisioned.
Wow. So flying isn't just an escape or an ability. It's a deliberate tool for navigating and literally reshaping the dream world itself.
Precisely. It's mastery over the environment through self-mastery. And Gaius assures Philip he already possesses the core skill. He tells him that flying in dreams, once you stop overthinking it, it's as natural and effortless as breathing.
Like it's something you know how to do instinctively in that state.
Exactly.
And Philip puts this into practice. The description of him practicing in that golden meadow is wonderful. He consciously recalls the feeling of that first desperate flight from the snow fort.
He instinctively reaches for his jacket again.
Yeah, prepares himself, takes a deep breath, removes his jacket, holds it out, sprints across the meadow, and leaps.
And just like before,
the jacket catches the wind, lifts him. He feels a brief flicker of doubt, of fear, maybe it won't work again.
Yeah.
But he remembers Gaius's words, remembers that feeling from the snow fort escape, and the confidence just takes over.
You really feel it in the descriptions, don't you? The air rushing past.
Totally. The jacket responding to his slightest shift in posture or intention banking, gently, climbing steadily. It feels completely natural, like rediscovering a forgotten language his body already knew.
And as he practices, he discovers he can increase his speed and altitude just by focusing his intention, by willing himself higher and faster.
He eventually soars so high that he can see the vast curve of the earth below him.
Yeah, a breathtaking perspective that just reinforces the limitless potential of this ability within the dreamscape.
Wow. Seeing the curvature of the earth just by flying. And that incredible height becomes his, launch pad, his control panel for practicing dream shifting.
Right. He flies up, imagines a new scene, and then descends, and the dream reforms around him.
This mastery of dream flight then sets the stage for even more incredible aerial adventures later in the story, hinting at some really exciting developments.
Indeed. As Philip's journey continues into the next part of his story, this is in the upcoming book #2, he absolutely keeps using his jacket for flight and dream shifting.
Good. It remains his signature method.
Totally. This unique blend of the ordinary object and his inner ability, but the scope of his aerial experiences also evolves dramatically.
Yes, and this is where we find that really thrilling parallel for fans of classic fantasy. Just as Harry Potter gets to experience the sheer wonder and exhilaration of flying in a fantastical, non-magical vehicle.
And Ford Anglia.
Exactly. Philip has a similarly extraordinary encounter with a flying car.
What's so compelling about this comparison is the shared DNA it highlights between these two series, Both tap into that aspirational fantasy of flight, not just as a personal ability, but as an experience shared, often in an unexpected form of transportation.
Yeah, it's about reality-defying physics. These aren't just cars with wings bolted on. They transcend normal limitations in impossible ways.
Right. And crucially, in both instances, these incredible journeys are shared with an important companion. Ron joins Harry in the Ford Anglia.
And in Philip's experience, his friend Jack is there with him.
Plus, the scale of the adventures these vehicles enable expands dramatically, potentially leading to these cosmic-scale journeys that go far beyond earthly boundaries, offering perspectives the characters couldn't possibly achieve otherwise.
Okay, so without getting into the plot specifics of that chapter, because we want people to discover that, can you describe the feeling or the elements of Philip's flying car experience?
Absolutely. The experience begins vividly in his dream. The car itself first appears as this incredibly sleek, angular sports car, almost glowing, parked on an empty street.
Sounds cool.
And the doors don't open normally. They lift upwards like a bird's wings. It feels potent, alive.
And the ride itself sounds visceral, connecting back to the descriptions of flying with a jacket.
Completely. The engine just roars to life with incredible power, pressing him back into the seat. The speed is immense, blurring the streetlights into streaks. The car handles with impossible grace, weaving effortlessly, taking sharp turns with exhilarating force. And then, just like with the jacket, it simply lifts off.
It soars above the city.
Yeah. And the path it takes isn't just a straight line through the air either. No, that's part of the dream logic at play. As he imagines the way forward, the road itself manifests in the air before them, enabling impossible angles, loops, spirals through the sky.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's not just a vehicle following gravity. It's shaping its own reality based on intention.
And then Jack appears, sharing that pure, unadulterated thrill, doing a loop-the-loop, hanging suspended among the stars.
Exactly. The journey escalates rapidly to a truly cosmic scale. The Earth shrinks below them as they zoom past the Moon, Mars, Jupiter. He sees the universe on this massive scale, the cosmic web, galaxies spiraling into intricate fractal patterns. It's vast, overwhelming, pushing the boundaries of his perception. This experience, like the first flight, isn't purely comfortable. The sheer speed and scale eventually become almost too much, and the dream shifts dramatically. But the core memory of that impossible journey remains.
So these sequences, whether it's with the jacket or the car, they aren't just action scenes, they are transformative experiences.
Exactly. They fundamentally represent personal growth, Philip literally rises above challenges, gaining new perspective. They symbolize his increasing mastery not just over the dream world, but over his own mind and fears.
And the visceral descriptions make sure you, the listener, the reader, feel that wind, that speed, that blend of fear and exhilaration right alongside him.
Absolutely.
So let's draw out some more of those broader themes and comparisons between Phillip Aisling's flying and Harry Potter's. What else makes these resonate so deeply with readers, do you think?
Well, the shared appeal is foundational, right? They both expertly tap into that universal human dream of flight that we started with. It's inherently exciting and freeing, making these moments highlights for readers.
And flying is such a powerful coming-of-age motif in both series.
Definitely. It marks the discovery of hidden abilities Philip didn't know he possessed, much like Harry discovering his inherent magical aptitude. It builds incredible confidence as they master these skills.
It provides a literal and metaphorical escape from difficult circumstances.
Right, and solidifies a sense of empowerment.
Both seem to have this raw, intuitive talent for flying, too. Harry, famously, is a natural on a broomstick from his very first lesson, surprising everyone.
Yeah.
And Philip similarly demonstrates this instinctive mastery in the dream world, using his jacket without being taught, knowing how to make it work.
They also both feature these high-stakes escapes where flight becomes essential for survival, and of course, these truly unique and fascinating vehicles of wonder that add that extra layer of magic and adventure.
And the theme of freedom and perspective gained through flight is central.
Yeah, it's not just physical freedom from the ground. Flying offers mental clarity, allowing them to see problems from a different angle, literally from above. It often coincides with moments of significant emotional release or breakthrough.
Where rising above physically mirrors overcoming internal struggle.
Exactly.
Thinking about what makes readers connect so strongly with these flying sequences, it really does come back to those visceral descriptions you mentioned. You can almost feel the wind, the speed.
Yeah, the stomach-dropping turns.
Ah.
And the aspirational fantasy element is key. It speaks to deep desires for personal empowerment, for exploration beyond normal limits, and for the ability to conquer fear.
Plus, the relatable triggers they face: bullying, moments of genuine crisis, friendships tested and strengthened through shared experiences like an impossible flight. That all resonates.
For sure.
So, for fans who love Harry Potter's world of magic and adventure, what specifically might they find to appreciate in Phillip Aisling's series, particularly through this lens of flight?
Well, they'll definitely find familiar and beloved elements. The idea of intuitive magic and innate talent, the way the stakes and adventures escalate dramatically, and how flight serves not just as transport, but as a crucial element of character growth. The imaginative world building and the sense of wonder are absolutely present.
And what does Phillip Aisling offer that's, unique?
I think the dream logic is a major differentiator. It provides a framework where the rules are more fluid, allowing for truly limitless and often surreal possibilities that operate on a different kind of physics than the waking world.
That personal empowerment angle too, right?
Yeah.
Using an ordinary object like a jacket.
Exactly. And channeling your own willpower and instinct through it, that's very strong and relatable. There's a deeper psychological layer, with dream flight directly representing mastery over one's mind, fears, and inner state.
And the multidimensional aspect of dream travel opens up layers of adventure beyond just physical location. So both series take this fundamental human desire to fly and transform it into something incredibly powerful, symbolic, and central to their heroes' journeys.
Exactly. They don't just use flight for action. They make it a transformative experience that resonates on a deeper level. While Harry's magic is often external, a wand, a broom, Philip's core ability, particularly his flight, feels deeply internal, rooted in his own consciousness and courage. It's a fresh and compelling perspective on a classic fantasy trope.
Bringing it back to you listening right now. We started with the idea of flying dreams, that feeling of effortless flight, and the possibility of controlling it.
Philip's story, and even the parallels with Harry Potter, offer a powerful reminder of the incredible potential locked within imagination, the strength of instinct, and the profound ability we have to overcome fear, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally.
What if you could truly tap into that feeling Philip discovers? What if you could approach challenges in your own life feeling as effortless, as in control, as free as Philip flying with his jacket in his dreams?
These stories show us that flying isn't just about physical movement through the air. It's a potent symbol of internal states, of breaking free from what holds you down, of personal growth, and the potential within us to rise above any obstacle simply by changing our perspective and mastering our own minds.
It's a truly fascinating idea to ponder long after the dream fades, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
Well, this has been a truly exhilarating deep dive into the skies with Phillip Aisling and the magic of fantasy flight. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today.
It was a pleasure exploring these aerial adventures and their deeper meanings with you. Always fun.
And hey, if you enjoyed soaring through these ideas with us today, make sure you give this deep dive a like. It really helps us out.
Yeah, and share it with a friend who loves fantasy stories, especially if they've ever wished they could fly themselves. You know who you are.
Be sure to follow us, too, to stay updated on new content as soon as it drops.
And of course, the best way to make sure you never miss a deep dive is to subscribe wherever you get your deep dives. Can't miss out.
Until next time, keep looking up and keep soaring.